All right, this is gonna be fun. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, welcome to podcast number 2 of Carson's Conversations. I got a special guest today. I met him like, what do you say, a month ago?
A month, yeah.
Yeah, a month, and he was just like, I do music. So that's kind of how it went from here. So this is Bryce, everybody.
I guess.
Say your lows. Yeah. So today, like similar to what we talked about yesterday, is we were talking on how, on the last podcast, sorry, on how passion is very, very important to people, and how you should really find something that you enjoy to work on rather than work on just some aimless work and not have fun about it. So Bryce really, in the short time I've known him, he showed me that he's really good at what he does, and he knows this is what he wants to do in his life, and he's gonna hopefully, and I'll probably ask him a couple questions to see how he thinks about it. So the main thing is, you're 100% music. That's where you want to go.
I think so. Yeah, music has it's been around since I was like 11.
Mm-hmm.
Been going at it pretty hard for the last few years, and it's just kind of that's like my one thing that I can really focus on and kind of just hone my skills and everything like that. So
For sure.
specifically over the last few years, probably I've kind of set everything aside, like school. I stopped going to school. I was like, okay, I want to take music seriously because this is what I want to do. This is what life's about. I don't want to do something that's not going to make me happy. So
For sure.
and music's that thing. So it's been really good lately. So
Yeah.
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. What's the type of area of music are you in? Is it?
I specify in EDM. I do
Mhm.
a lot of beat production for hip hop and stuff like that. I take a lot of inspiration from people like Mac Miller and Daniel Caesar and stuff like that. So I'm honestly all over the place.
Yeah.
So I've started from one end of EDM and gone to the other. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But mostly electronic dance music. So
For sure. That's actually really cool. So how are you promoting it or like pushing it out?
pushing it, it's mostly through labels and like PR platforms and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I've been in touch with a couple, kind of on the down low, but getting ready for my upcoming EP and stuff like that.
That's
and then
really cool.
I basically let a company handle the promotion and stuff like that. But other than that, it's just putting my stuff out on SoundCloud and Spotify
SoundCloud,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
So
and YouTube.
do you use like social media as an advantage? Because I know that's something that I'm pretty good at, and that's
Yes.
kind of how I gotta actually. Yeah. Before we continue, I gotta thank everybody for the insane amount of likes and views and all that stuff for one podcast. I think last time I checked, we were like 350 in a day. That was insane. Thank you for that.
It's huge.
But yeah, it's social media is so important nowadays.
It's very important, and it's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing
It's
to
hard.
figure out, man. So, yeah, I dabble with social media. I just kind of been keeping to myself for the last little bit because I've just been waiting till I'm ready to really go out on the social media and stuff.
Yeah.
So I gotta have content, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
don't want to just kind of create stuff without actually having the actual stuff
Yeah.
to release. So, but yeah, definitely Instagram's huge. Facebook is actually coming back in with the promotional software that they have and stuff like that. YouTube is big too for music producers and stuff like that because you got labels and stuff that kind of only post on YouTube or only do their thing there, and that's where EDM I think really blew up was like 2014 YouTube scene. You know,
For
what I
sure.
mean? So that's where I think most of it comes from, for sure.
Yeah. So, is there anything that you're doing on the side to, not to say keep the lights on, but to to pay for? Because I know all the music equipment is definitely expensive. Like, what are you
very-
doing on the side to, or if you're doing something on the side, like gigs, or are you doing another job?
Yeah, I'm actually working as a full-time arborist at the moment, so I'm in
Oh,
the
really?
trees. Yeah, climbing
actually
trees. But yeah, I'll occasionally like DJ weddings and stuff like that, but like I haven't been really ready to step it up and try to DJ a club or something like that. I'm not there yet.
Don't
so.
think you're there.
No. Well, I focused all my time and energy on the production aspect and
Yeah.
working with vocalists and all that stuff, and that takes up a lot of time in itself. So I'm hoping once I can get some projects out, maybe I'll start dabbling with the.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's a great way to, speaking of marketing, like it's a great way of showing off what you can do.
Yeah.
And if there's say 150 people in a club or something like that, it can really show off. Oh, this is
yeah.
what we're gonna do. This
Yeah.
is how we're gonna do
That's
it.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, it's really cool that you found out at a relatively early age.
Yeah, I was gonna actually bring this story up to you. Basically, how I got into it.
Yeah,
It
that's
wasn't
really
even. It was just. It's pretty funny. So I was on my way home from soccer with my dad, like 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Just living the dream, you know. So he looks at me and he's like, I think you need to do something productive with your life. And that was pretty hard hitting.
At 11, that's insane.
I was like, all right, like, what do you got for me then? Like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, well, I've been going to the gym a lot lately and listening to this genre called trance, which is like really underground. Not underground, but it's an acquired taste for electronic dance music. So he's like, I'll get you all the software and I'll get you all the equipment. So like Christmas comes around and I open up this software and I'm like, this is horrible. Like, I never want to do this ever again.
Yeah.
So I probably spent a couple days and he's like, I want you to learn this software. So I ended up dropping it like any 11-year-old would for probably like half a year. And then I came back to it and just started trying to do whatever I could with the software. I didn't really watch any tutorials or anything. I was like, I'm not about that. I just want to learn it. So I learned the hard way. And it was pretty hilarious. And I didn't really truly, I think, take it seriously and really put hours into it until
you're
I was
11.
14.
There's no way you're gonna.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm 16 and at 11, I don't even know what I was doing. I don't even know what I'm doing now. So,
I feel the same way. I don't feel like I know anything.
Yeah, because you're 2000.
99.
99. Okay, yes, you're my brother's age.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty ridiculous. About like figuring like knowing what you're doing at a young age is kind of insane, and like for some people, I'm pretty happy that I found not only podcasting but like entrepreneur and that stuff, like entrepreneurship and stuff like that, because it's just like, oh, I'm gonna do it on my own. I don't really need other people or stuff like that. And
that's
it's like,
exactly how I feel. I'm like, I just want to do this by myself.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like if you have your thing where no one can kind of interfere with you, it's like that's your escape from everything.
It's bliss.
So it's total bliss.
The best.
And time just flies too. It's like I'll sit down. Making music and it'll from the morning till the evening and it'll be like, where has my day gone?
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
Yeah,
so.
And that's honestly that's another moment that I just recently had.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
As of literally Monday, because Monday was the first day I put the podcast out because the microphone was literally just came in.
Nice.
And I gotta thank you for helping me out and picking microphones and all that stuff like that.
Of course.
And I was just like, oh my god, this is so entertaining. This is a blast.
Yeah.
I have a camera. I have a laptop and 2 microphones.
It's
now
fun.
all I need is another person.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we
conversation.
Yeah, exactly. With me.
Yep.
But the whole thing was like, it was so difficult to try and talk for 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we started recording, but it's just like, how am I gonna talk for 20 minutes? And it's like out of nowhere, it just picked up.
It just happens. Yep.
It just kind of flowed. So what type of flow, or you're talking about how it just works easily, but like what is the best area for you that just you can do it easily, no issue?
Make music?
Yeah.
No issue. First thing in the morning is no issue. Yeah. Just wake up in the morning, get some coffee and just go at it.
Yeah.
And it also has to do with your space. I think like if if the room that I'm in is super cluttered or whatever, I won't be able to produce as well as I normally can, or the ideas won't come to me. But yeah, it's just like when everything's kind of calm and set up in life, I can make the best music. I'm not worried about anything.
And there's a lot of people that I forget who I was watching or listening to, and they were talking about with many people with other issues in their life, if they have a clear, good set relationship, it'll flow a lot easier. And I think that's true for anything.
Absolutely.
Because in this, I'm very fortunate. Like I'm sitting pretty well, right? And if I didn't have anything like that, I wouldn't be able to set up and build a podcast or go to work and enjoy myself or 14 knows, but
it's funny that you say that because my upcoming EP, the title of that is exactly what you just explained. It's the title is A Crown of Golden Thorns.
Yeah.
And it's basically we can wear this crown. It's like I'm blessed to be able to make the music that I can. Not saying it's good or bad. It's just I can make it.
Yeah.
And then the thorns represent like the privilege and the fear of mediocrity and being average and stuff like that.
That's
you know what
so
I mean?
deep.
That's my
awesome.
that's my whole outlook because I hold back a lot. It's like a ton of my music because it's like it's not perfect yet.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea of the album.
So how much do you how many songs have you made?
Oh my god, like thousands.
Thousands?
But like they're not completed. Right?
They're not completed, so they're like halfway done.
It's like I'm only trying to when I do start releasing again, it'll be the best of my technical ability and stuff like that. But it's like you can sit down and make half a song and just be like wake up the next day and it's like, oh, that's garbage.
Yeah.
So that happens all the time. Yeah. And that's just that's what makes you better, and if you can push through that, that really shapes you into the producer that you're going to be.
That's crazy. I would have thought that it would have been like I would have thought it would have been like maybe 100 songs. Because
dude.
music, I sit back and I'm like, how am I gonna make music?
I know.
Because I've tried before, and I didn't have any good software. I think I had some free trial of some good. It was like an alright software.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make music, and I'm like, no, I can't do this.
It's hard, man.
And it didn't click. It was just like, okay.
It really if you have an opportunity to sit down and go through a track, there's so many different things. When I look back from when I was younger, it's like all these little things add up to a complete song, and you need all of them.
Yeah.
It's like all the little percussion things that you wouldn't think about but are there in other tracks. You have to learn how to pick that up, and that's what's taken me probably the longest. That and mixing properly, because there's 3 stages to making music. For me, it's like you have the idea, you have the sound design. It's actually 4. Sound design, like creating the actual synthetic sounds, and then you have mixing and mastering. And mastering is a whole other art in itself.
Yeah.
And that's just really refining it and pushing it to its loudest in the EDM community, because the louder you are, apparently.
Exactly, yeah. So, it's like at any of the festivals, you want to go to the loudest guy, right?
Exactly.
Or person. What are your thoughts on sampling in music? Because I know hip-hop, they sample a lot. Kanye West is one of those guys that's very, very good at that. I'm not too familiar with EDM. I've listened to a little bit of it, but what's your thoughts on sampling?
Sampling is huge for me because it sparks the creativity. There's a website that I use. It's called Splice, and it's this huge platform that a lot of larger producers and anyone who's in the industry can use, and they can upload sample packs. And it doesn't have to be like a sample of an old record or something. It can be just someone playing a piano or a chord melody or a kick and a snare and all these things, right? And that in itself, if I'm not feeling very creative and I hear a really awesome sample and I like the chord progression, I can take the chord progression and make an entire track with it. And
that's something that's like, whoa.
I know. Splice has changed the game, because you used to have to it was so hard to find high quality samples when you're a young producer and stuff that. So Splice really came in clutch with that.
That's whoa. That's insane.
That's
so
huge.
What's the perfect in the future? What's the everything goes right. You get this is season. We're gonna get deep. That's all right. What's the best case scenario for you?
Best case scenario? I'd really like to get set up with working with a label and then going around and playing shows and stuff like that. So the DJing is in the dream. It's just not where I need to be right now for me personally.
For sure.
But yeah, that I'm looking into specifically label wise. I'd love to work with Monster Cat, which is a big EDM platform and stuff like that. And they're like a family. They really like to take care of their artists and stuff like that. So something like that, or just be independent. That's fine, as long as if I can make a living off of my music full time. Then that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Do you want to go crazy, make a ton of money, or you just like making the music? Because I guess everybody, if you
it
what you're
doesn't
doing,
even matter. As long as it's enough, that's it.
Yeah.
And
as long as you can live comfortably.
Yeah. I'm gonna push as hard as as far as I can go.
See how big you can get. That's always. That feels like I think for a lot of the people that are that big, I feel like. They think it's a game at this point.
Yeah.
And they like it so much that they're just like, let's see if I can do more.
Yeah.
Exactly. They might not even be the craziest artist.
Why not?
But they're just like, oh, let's see if I can make a 35 song album.
Yeah. Oh.
And see how many copies I can get, or if I can hit platinum or something like that. That's just so insane to me.
Albums are hard. Because just having your idea of the album and making it consistent, that's just another thing in itself. It's very difficult.
That's one thing, like some artists, and I know hip hop is very good for this, was making a story.
Yes.
That seems very difficult. And I think most of the people that do that, and going back to passion, I guess this is what it's all going to be about, is if you really love it, you'll be able to stick to it, and it'll eventually work out.
Exactly. You just got to get through the dip of the learning curve, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And I was going to touch on how you can... Electronic music, dance music, kind of starts to get put into this category of just rave music.
It's true. That's when I think of that, I'm like Ever After Fest or something like Veld or some big festival like that.
Exactly. Yeah. But there's such a much broader spectrum where you can actually hear the emotion in a lot of EDM and stuff like that. I'll take inspiration from Hans Zimmer all the time, and he's the one who's doing soundtracks for Batman and Interstellar and stuff like that. And that's huge.
Those are great movies.
Yeah, amazing movies.
It's insane.
And then I can use his inspiration in my chord progressions and everything like that. So that's when there's a lot more to it, I think, than people realize. But the club bangers are going to be fairly simple. So
that's just because it's louder. It's the biggest artists are going to be there with the most popular people, and currently they're the most popular, so they're going to get the most volume and they're going to get the most people there, right? So it all works out, like, it'll eventually even out or taper off, because you can see that with, like, different types of rap or even rock, where rock kind of started off as like a soul-y thing and then kind of moved up.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look, rap actually started with disco and then moved from like disco to soul music and like soul and all that stuff. So like it's kind of like it escalates up all the way.
It's very cool, like the evolution of music.
It's an evolution with everything, really. Yeah. For a podcast example, they would have it started with definitely like the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
but, like, look where we are now.
Yeah, like that's YouTube the thing. Yeah, exactly. So that's one of my goals. Like if I want to continue doing this, I want to try and get like the Tonight Show of YouTube of like of like
That'd
this.
Be so sick.
Because I know like Joe Rogan's got this stuff on lock now. Like it's kind of insane.
Are awesome.
He has so many crazy people on too.
I know.
Like there was he had one guy on that was talking about spaceships and how he worked in. I was just like, that's too much for me. I watched the whole thing, but like, oh, that's too big. Yeah. That's insane. I don't know where I'm gonna go from that. But it's like. It's kind of nuts how getting into any industry nowadays, you can take it so far.
So yeah, it's crazy. As long as you're willing to put in the hours, like it's. I really do believe in that. Have you heard the saying where it's like once you put 10,000 hours into something, you're a pro or something like that? Yeah, I truly believe that's a valid.
I don't doubt it. That sounds realistic.
Because 10,000 hours is quite a bit, and
I don't think I'd even classify as a beginner of podcasting yet. I think I'm in about a solid 3 hours.
Yep. You're doing well, though.
Yeah, we're going for it.
We're going.
The first one, though, like the first podcast was just like, I was surprised. Yeah. And I even said to my mom when I was, like, after I filmed it, I was like, all right, if I get 100 by tomorrow, I'll be happy. Yeah. I wake up the next morning, man, I'm sitting at like 250, and I'm like, what?
Well, at least it's, you're not an 11-year-old releasing a track, and you get 4 views.
That's still, like, you gotta take that sentimentally, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like 4 views, because that's if it wasn't your parents. Okay, so 1, 2,
probably was.
2 of them your parents.
One random
from guy from like Zimbabwe,
the last one's yourself.
And the last one's definitely you watching. Yeah, and that's what's funny because that happened to me when I made the podcast. I was like, so I put it up and it was 1 view, and I was like, oh, that's me. Yeah. And then as soon as I put it on my social media, like I put it on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's huge. Conversations with Carson for all of them guys. And I was just like, okay, let's hope this works. Let's hope somebody's going to help me out. And then everybody showed up. I'm like,
that's awesome.
This is the coolest thing of all time. Yeah. And it's entertaining, and I hope you're having a good time.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
It's weird and interesting that I'm doing this in my basement. Like, there's so many different...
You got to start somewhere, man.
Exactly. There's no other place I was going to do it that worked to have people on. Yeah. And I got this big TV in the background. I can put stuff on later, but...
it only goes up from here.
Exactly. That's a great way of saying it and think about it. And it's like, whoa. Like every time I'm on it or I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, I can do this, I can do that. Like
so many ideas.
All day yesterday when I was, because I was texting you at work. I was too excited. I was like, all right, I got to get this going. Come on. And as soon as you said you're off work, I just got excited. I got like butterflies. I was just like, all right,
that's awesome.
This is going to be so really much fun.
To be here.
It is. Oh, it's fun. That's so awesome. What is the when do you think your album's gonna be coming out?
I'm hoping within the next couple of months. I'm waiting on a pretty big opportunity. I'm working with a potential vocalist that might jumpstart the whole label thing, hopefully, and really start me on the path that I want to be on, and that's exciting. So I'm just kind of waiting for these other people to confirm the dates and everything with me, and that's the biggest thing. Like, I've been working on this one track for 6 months.
Jeez.
Just because the vocalist is that busy.
How long is the track supposed to be?
Just 3 minutes. A 3-minute track has taken 6 months. And that's just because like sending variations back to her and working on them.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because for me, I'm going to have a very big file. Like it's going to be gigabytes, right? Mm-hmm. So just sending a vocal track back and forth and just the adjustments and the tweaks, that's going to be, it's going to take a long time. Yeah. Especially if you're not like in your home studio and they're not going to come in.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And then you got to process the vocals and then, it's like...
Yeah, I don't know any of that, but like, I know what you mean.
It's complicated.
Most stuff I know is like GarageBand volume. That's that's cool though. Like it's such an interesting area. Like
it is, yeah.
Oh, it's like whoa! It really pushes you back, especially because you can see how big like streaming has got.
Oh yeah.
And how many people have become so famous off SoundCloud, especially since you're on that.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, so this
crazy.
is something that's...
You know what though? I think Spotify is where it's at right now, as far as having a reach, because of those Discover Weeklies, and the Release Radar playlist.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, underdogs, can get on that, and it's not a hard thing to get onto.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really valuable thing. And SoundCloud just seems to be like, there's no engagement. There's a lot of fake profiles and stuff like that. It's
that's true. Yeah, because I had to start a SoundCloud to get the code to like submit to Apple to try and get my podcast on Apple.
Yeah.
And I'm in the progress of doing that right now, so that's going to be really cool as soon as that comes on. But I realized as soon as I made it, it was like within 5 seconds, there was somebody that was fake. And I was just like, okay, well, this is how this goes.
Yeah.
And Spotify, saying Spotify is on top definitely makes sense. It's a good game, and it's a great app. Because I use Spotify and Apple Music. Mm-hmm. And they're both really good. Yeah. But most of the time, I'm going to use Spotify. I don't know why.
That's me. I haven't really used Apple Music too much, but I stick to Spotify. So
yeah, it works. I don't think it's too hard to get your music on it either.
No, it's not. No. You just go through. You just need a third party music distribution site, and then you can go right through there. And then it's really nice. So from there, if you're working with a vocalist, you can actually set up the percentage royalty splits through that, and then they take a small percentage. It's super easy nowadays.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I do, and unless I have like a PR team looking after it or something like that. So
so do you have teams yet, or are you still in the? Because you're young for the music business, right?
Yeah.
There's nobody like. There's the anomaly of there's a person that gets out perfect at 17 or what. Like how? So that's insane.
And that's the big thing that I'm working on right now. That vocalist, she has a management team that I'm looking into working with, and that would be a huge step up for me personally, and it would take a lot of the weight lifted off my shoulders, because I got to worry about like artwork, I got to worry about the videos and everything like that. I'd rather just kind of let someone else take care of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And focus on the music, right? So.
Yeah. So I think everybody on camera can see your tattoos.
Oh yeah,
that's definitely something that's interesting for me.
Yeah.
What's the meaning behind those? I guess this is a little bit. It's the personal topic. Like,
yeah.
What's the meaning behind them?
So this one here, I have the exact same tattoo with my dad, and that goes back to my childhood and just represents what my dad and I have been through and all that, like family struggles and stuff like that. And this means a lot to me, and it's just the outline of a specific painting that was that we were taking a picture in front of it. It was like a significant location and stuff.
Yeah,
so
sure.
He took that out and put it into Photoshop and just kind of cleaned it up, and then we both got it on the same day.
That's really cool.
So that one means a lot to me. And this is the sleeve I'm working on right now.
That's crazy.
So I have
cool.
an old American dollar. This was on my great grandfather's money clip, and he
that's pretty cool.
left that for me in his will. And I just love the design and the way it pops at the base of the sleeve. So
it looks dope.
I was like, I'll put that in, and then I was like, Dad, I like some roses. He's in computer graphics, so...
that makes sense. So you can just print them off and make them look pretty good.
He made these from scratch. So you could
hand-drawn?
Yeah, so you couldn't pull them off the internet.
Jeez, I thought they were...
Yeah, so that it means a lot. It's just like, it's not just a rose, it's like...
Yeah, it's like somebody... Yeah. Your father put in all this effort.
Exactly.
That's really cool, actually.
And then, this is actually the music-related part here. Take Care is the writing at the top.
Yeah.
That is the name of one of my favorite songs by a producer named Eden.
Yeah.
And that album was just one of those albums that kind of helps you deal with stuff and get through everything. And then I'm actually going to have the like a music staff with all the music notes written and wrapped around the inside of my arm.
That's so cool, actually.
And then I have a family clock going on the inside and finishing it off and everything. So
that's really cool.
Yep.
I don't even know. I'm not even a tattoo guy, but that's really cool. Honestly, I don't know what if I was to get a tattoo, I'd have no clue what I'd want to put on.
It's hard to commit to.
Yeah.
But once you do, I love it. I love tattoos. And it's funny, I was actually really against the idea of having a tattoo, and then one year I was just like, I want to try one. I want to get one. And so my dad and I got one, and then the moment I got this, I wanted to sleep.
I've heard it's addictive.
It's very addictive. It's
is it like so? What's addictive about it though? Because like, is it?
I don't know. It's not like I'm addicted to the. It's just the
is
whole
it the pain. Like
it's not like I hate the pain.
Oh yeah.
I don't like it. No, I don't enjoy it. So, like this was awful. This part of the elbow.
It seems like so light. In the inside, yeah.
Inside of the
that'd be weird.
That hurt a lot, but other than that, it was okay.
That's cool. Oh, this is gonna be. I just realized that's gonna be really weird for all the people that are watching it or listening to it just on the audio, but you'll have to deal with it. Yeah, but that's cool. So I love how you brought stuff into your music, into like yourself. I guess it sounds weird, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. That's really, really something interesting, and I think that's what a lot of people need to do in life. Really, is they gotta try their hardest before they do school or before anything like that. They gotta know what they're doing. Because why would you go? Why would you go to university?
I totally agree.
No, okay, you didn't let me finish.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Why? Don't go to university. No, I'm not saying don't go to university. What I'm saying is know what you want to do, and if university is the path that will guarantee you'll get that,
yes,
do it.
Because
if you want to be a lawyer, you're not going to do that yourself. You're going to end up like Saul from Better Call Saul or from Breaking Bad. Like you don't want to be that guy, right?
Yeah.
So you find your passion first, and find your passion early, and find what you want to do, and just go from there.
Find that one thing, and stick with it.
Like that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
If you truly love it, don't listen to other people.
No. Oh yeah, starting off making music at a young age, that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, honestly, the one thing that almost stopped me from making this was like, oh, what if somebody says no? And I'm like, wait, that's not me. What am I doing?
No.
Let's just go for it. Like, and somebody even texted me, and they're like, the first thing, like your podcast, and this is weird how this is the first thing, like, it's been such great feedback. And one of the guys that I played football with texted me on or DM'd me on Instagram, and he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna start that YouTube channel that I always wanted to start.
Oh, that's so
because
great.
then I'm like, yo, what?
That's awesome.
That's so cool. And I was like, that really, like it's something that's not like super sentimental, but it's just like that happened. That's really cool that I made a difference in someone else's life.
It's great. It's amazing.
And it's pretty cool.
That's probably one of the biggest things with music production. Just
sure
having an impact on someone's day, or when you get good feedback from a track or constructive criticism. It's like people are taking the time to listen to your work and everything, and that's a huge thing. Yeah, and it's also really cool at how many people quickly got into it, where they were like, okay, this is cool. Yep.
You're my age and you're making a podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Definitely.
And there's the other thing that's really cool is like a lot of people are trying to make music and sometimes it just doesn't work.
No, I know.
And that's a terrible thing about it is there's so many people that are really good, but they get lost because they have a couple bad months. They're not doing their thing. They lose it. Definitely. And I guess like when you're 11, you lost it for that. But like you're too young. It's happened a couple times, to be honest. I've had those lulls of just like I cannot do this. Yeah. And then it's just like forget about everything else and what you're trying to become and all of your goals, and it's just do it. Yeah. Not forget about your goals, but don't worry about the politics of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Set your goals aside and then focus on your skills. Your skills, and like especially if there's something like small going on in the background of your life. Yep. Like if there's someone's gone through like some trauma, or your friend's just acting out or being weird or something crazy like that. Yep. That's definitely another difficult thing. Like it really, you might not think that this is a big issue that's messing with me, but there's the small things really do. It's true. And it's kind of crazy I'm happy that there's so much more stuff about mental health nowadays. Yeah, I agree. Just because there's like, okay, yeah, it's a big, like that's the thing that you got to think about it. Like that's the thing that controls everything. And that's again like you can put those emotions into your music, and that's the best outlet for me. I can just sit down and forget about everything and all the frustrations. Yeah, for me it's always conversation. I don't know what it is. I'd much rather. And that's the other thing I was talking about the other day was you really need to, the best way we're gonna solve all the problems I'd say in the world is just have someone talk, please. Yeah. Let's just get like a million mics, a million like leaders of the community, and let's just talk. Yeah. That's not gonna work because there's too many people talking. Yep. And there's too many people like me trying to cut over people. But like the whole thing is like let's just talk it out and figure out what your issue is, what my issue is, and let's find middle ground. That works for both of us in the long term. Absolutely. Which is difficult, and you can see that, but like climate change, what are you doing, guys? Some of the people, man, like I know. Like it's a mess. 5 years ago, I remember it was rare if we hit like 30 degrees. Oh my god. It's so hot, especially working outside. It's jeez. Yesterday was scorching. I'm just happy I work in a fridge. Yep. That's great. That's awesome. Shout out to the dairy department. That's awesome. Yeah, it's like, whoa, like come on. And there's some other things, I don't want to get into politics, but it's just some other things that are just like, come on. I know. just talk about it. Find actually what you enjoy and not just focus on money.
Yep.
That's a big thing.
I agree.
And I love money. Trust me. People that know me know I love money. But it's like, there are other things. There's more important things to that. And it's like, money's definitely going to help you in a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to figure out a lot. But set it aside, figure it out, work on it later, right?
Yeah, I think it's good to supplement your dreams with a regular job and stuff like that. But when you can reach the point where it's just, I can take my dreams and make them a reality. That's the turning point.
Just thinking about that, I'm just like, let's do it now. I'm famous.
Done.
Yeah, it's just, I wish it was that easy though. Like it's,
I know.
Even just the work, making one podcast, and I can imagine making 1,000+ songs. Yeah. The work that had to go into this was insane.
It's crazy, and a single song can take 50 hours.
Yeah,
all said and done.
But the thing is, you enjoyed every second of it, and it's so. It's just like, wow, this is like the most entertaining thing I've ever done.
Yeah, there's nothing better for me personally.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun. I don't even know. I could continue talking about like all this stuff for ages, man. I don't even know what time it is yet, but
part two.
Like there's so many different things that are just like, as long as you really find out what you want to do, and like you said, working a normal job first is something everybody needs to do, because it really shows you, I don't want to do this the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's motivation.
Yeah,
and I think it's a really good thing to have and develop your skills in that side of things.
Yeah, for sure. It was like the first week working at where I do the dairy department, I was just like, no.
Yeah.
I gotta make it. I gotta do something. I gotta figure out what I want to do with my life and do it, because I'm not trying to put milk on a shelf for minimum wage the rest of my life. Yeah. It's not good. And I definitely...
You know what, though? Climbing trees for me is like, I could do that for a long time because it's really fun.
Yeah. Well, that's totally different. That seems fun. That seems enjoyable.
I'm kind of supplementing both my work life and my music life.
I think the next track, it's got to be called Trees.
Trees.
And you got to just have a whole bunch of chainsaws in there.
Yeah.
It'll have all that stuff, a tree falling, like timber, all that stuff.
Sam, that's another thing I love to do. Foley. So I'll have like a Foley recorder, and I'll just go outside and make sounds, and then I'll put those sounds into my tracks.
That's actually cool.
It's super, super cool. So
that's what they do with movies, though, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Because I know with I forget what it was. It was.
I've done movie soundtracks too.
What?
Yep.
I didn't know about that. Like,
I've been all over the place. I've been trying to experiment as much as I can. Horror movies.
I feel like that's easier to transfer like EDM to that.
The sound design and the grimy sounds and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like you could just take someone's voice and like pitch it and tweak it so much to make it sound scary.
Oh yeah.
Like kind of, not hard or easy, but there's like other things that just like moving the cup, like that's gonna sound insane if you change it. Yeah, that's that's cool.
Like that's just post-processing and everything, you can change any sound you want to make it sound like something completely different. Mm-hmm. It's really quite amazing. Like I use my own voice all the time in my songs just to make just like little hits and stuff like that, or my mouth moving and stuff like that. So
you use like auto-tune? That's probably not, you're not T-Pain, I guess.
No, I don't really like using auto-tune because it's really finicky and it's not fun, because anyone can use auto-tune.
Exactly.
So,
and you see that with hip hop now, like everybody's on it.
Oh my!
But there's only it's good when they do it right.
When they do it right, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It can be done very well. But when it's the whole song, it's auto tune, kind of.
Yeah, it's just like, unless it's like a really good beat.
Yep.
Because I know for example, one of my favorite artists is Kanye. He's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But you gotta watch. Okay, you gotta watch the Letterman on the show on Netflix with him. It clears your mind about him. It's like, okay, this makes a lot more sense.
That's awesome.
I understand where he's coming from, because think about how famous he is.
He's a genius.
A lot, yeah. His music is really good.
Yep.
Like there's so many deep hits, and he uses a lot of soul music.
He does, yeah, a lot of sampling.
And I don't know what it is, but it really got me onto that.
Yep.
Like soul is a thing, like reggae Absolutely. Now, like.
I don't know. I've always been a huge fan of Mac Miller, but like I've been listening to him so much lately. It's crazy. You can, if you start listening to the same genre of music, like if I switch to something more common or something like that, my music it'll translate into my own music.
Yeah,
I'll be like, I gotta go listen to some EDM because.
Well, that's another thing that's kind of crazy. Music is a great topic, but you can see in some of the like bad areas, and I don't want to sound mean or offensive in any way, but you can see that when they listen to a lot of music or rap that's about guns, drugs, and all that type of stuff, it really translates.
It totally does. I agree.
Because so I have a friend that I work with, Fortino's, and he lived in Georgia for a lot of his life, and he just moved here recently, and he was talking about how even living in the suburbs of Atlanta, all these kids were listening to this music that was like guns, drugs, all this stuff, and they tried to be gangsters. They tried to join all that stuff, and it's just like it's a big influence. And then once he came to Canada, he was just like, they're still listening to this, but like guns aren't as readily available, and you can't really get any issues. So it's like it's really crazy how much music influences.
Wild. It is truly crazy. I think it's important to listen to positive music here and there and stuff like that. So listen to some John Mayer.
Exactly.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of music that's like kind of depressing nowadays, but it's like you have to be in the right mindset to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a genre for everybody, for every situation, and whatever you're going through, music helps you through it. That's why I have Take Care for this. So.
Exactly. You know what, guys? I think we're done. I don't want to get us to an hour because I know nobody else is going to listen after this.
No.
I put 20 minutes and everybody's like, I'll watch half.
Yeah.
But either way, like, if you're going to take anything from this podcast, just know that here we go. Bryce is a perfect example. If you find out what you really, really like, all the work that you do it's just going to be worth it.
Yeah.
It's going to be, there's no issues with it whatsoever. And you're going to love every minute of it.
Stick through the hard times.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I'm just so happy I don't have to pay rent.
Yeah.
Because it would be real hard times trying to make money doing a podcast. But like, just honestly, guys, just figure something out. Find what you really, really like. And if it's something you can do now, start early.
Yep.
Best advice right now, if you're doing whatever, is post it on social media, just because as soon as you get a following there, you're going to be picking up. And that's what I advise for you.
Throw it out there.
Yeah, as long as like people don't use their Instagram and people don't use Facebook at all. Like our age,
I know.
You should. If you're trying to promote something, do it, because it's so easy. By clicking a share button from one random person, you're going to get opened up to 50 new people, 100 new people. And if this person is popular and they like your stuff, or they know a lot of people, you're going to get 500 people that'll see your stuff.
Exactly.
And if they're like them, like that's the whole thing. So find your passion, do what you want to do, promote it, show off what you can do, and just hopefully it's the best, guys.
Yep.
This has been episode 2, guys. I appreciate you checking in. This has been a great conversation. I hope to have many more. Awesome. You'll definitely be on it again.
Awesome.
And all right, guys. Thank you, and thank you, Bryce.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Sweet.